Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Transformers Cyberverse episode review. Today we're taking a look at Season 3, Episode 21, titled Alien Hunt, with Meteorfire and Cosmos. That's quite a mouthful. Well, we're continuing with Bumblebee's arc for this last part of the series to find all of Windblade's psychic shards. We begin with this episode's title characters, Meteorfire and Cosmos, on their show Alien Hunt, which kind of comes across as a Cybertronian version of Steve Irwin's Crocodile Hunter, probably in large part to both of them having Hunt in their titles and Meteorfire's Australian accent.
The best way to get to know any alien species is to meet their leader. And look, there she is.
The two also kind of remind me of Rick and Morty to a lesser degree. The way Meteorfire lets Cosmos be in danger even though she's a kid, I think. I don't really know what Cosmos is in this show. I don't even know if Cosmos is supposed to be male or female. She definitely doesn't have that kind of Igor kind of voice that G1 Cosmos had.
Get back up there so you can track his return course to Earth.
Again?
I want to know where the refinery is hidden.
If you insist.
Here she kind of sounds like she's supposed to be a female Cosmos, kind of like how we've got a female Skywarp and a female version of Lugnut in the form of Clobber. Or maybe she's supposed to be a little boy like Morty. It does sound like the voice actress is doing a little kid voice.
It wanted me to go to Cybertron to feed off the whole planet. I tried to fight it, but the best I could do was force it to crash on this moon.
Who, by the way, is Sophia Isabella, the same voice actress for Windblade in this show, and will be playing RC in the upcoming War for Cybertron Siege Netflix cartoon. I actually asked one of the writers of Cyberverse about Cosmos' gender, although not the writer of this specific episode, and she wouldn't give me an answer one way or the other. So, fair enough. Obviously, this show isn't shy of having characters that aren't their traditional genders or are gender ambiguous. So I think by not referring to Cosmos as a he or she in this episode, they're kind of deliberately leaving it up to us to decide. So I'm just going to keep addressing her by the female pronouns, as that makes the most sense to me. I mean, she's either a young boy, a young girl, an adult female, or some shade of non-binary or both. So the way I see it, female is the most likely, and that's what the wiki refers to her as, so that's what I'm going with because that's just easiest for me. Anyway, Cosmos' gender identity aside, she's super cute, at least for what we see of her in this episode. I wish she was in more episodes than just this one. When Bumblebee arrives at Meteorfire's space trailer, we see various images of other one-off characters in this series. The dog from one of Bumblebee's memories, the goat from when Bumblebee first woke up on Earth, the kid from the family truckster, and even the banana from when Bumblebee was trying to figure out what a cheetah is. Obviously, these are all supposed to imply that Meteorfire has traveled to Earth in addition to other alien planets. But I think it's also supposed to be a pile of Easter eggs for us eagle-eyed fans. Meteorfire also has what I'm assuming are toy models of Judge Starscream and a prosecutor, as they're obviously too small to be the real things. He also has what looks like one of those Energon bug things from the episode The Journey. Maybe it's a stuffed one? There's also the head of one of those insectoid aliens that McAdam's tribe fought mounted on the wall. When Meteorfire signs his mug for Bumblebee, he signs it M-Fire. I guess Meteorfire would have been too long to fit, so he just abbreviated his name to M-Fire. So does that mean Jetfire would be J-Fire? I guess it's like how some people sign their name. They don't necessarily spell out their entire name. Maybe just the first initial and their last name or something like that. When Bumblebee enters, Meteorfire is watching an old episode of Alien Hunt. Specifically, the last episode, where Cosmos was abducted by the alien entity, which is the same sphere that they rescue her from at the end of this episode. When Meteorfire says that this moon is quarantined, I couldn't help thinking about our current real-world predicament. When Bumblebee and Meteorfire are exploring the moon base, For one, the fact that there's a moon base might be a nod to Moon Base 1 and 2 in Transformers the movie. And this apparently being Cybertron's third moon, I guess that would make this Moon Base 3. Also, Bumblebee says that the tracking is pointing to Windblade's psychic shard being on the dark side of the moon. Which could be just me, but it certainly reminded me of another Transformers movie, Dark of the Moon. This episode also introduces more cosmic horror into the series and Transformers in general, as Bumblebee sees ghostly visions of late Transformers, including Shockwave, Blur, and Seekers. God, it really hurt me to see Blur again. Really wish he was still in the show, if only to take over McAdam's bar to homage IDW Blur. Furthering the horror aspect of this episode, the alien presence possesses Meteorfire and rotates his head 180 degrees, very much like The Exorcist, but since they are robots, spinning their heads around isn't too much of a big deal. When Meteorfire says,
That's an orbicular class parasitic entity with telepathic abilities.
I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be an homage to the Ghostbusters.
Sir, what you had there was what we refer to as a focused, non-terminal repeating phantasm, or a Class 5 full roaming vapor. Real nasty one, too.
And when we end the episode with Hot Rod, RC, and Grimlock watching Alien Hunt at McAdam's bar, I don't know. It just gave me this really happy feeling seeing them all together, hanging out, just watching TV. But I do kind of wish that Clobber was there too. Hey, then it could have been kind of a double date. Grim and RC, and Hot Rod and Clobber. Who knows, maybe she was in the little bots room. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's say she was just in the washroom freshening up her paint job at the moment. And this really was a double date, and we just happened to miss her. Well, this was another fun episode of Transformers Cyberverse. I loved Meteorfire's character and design. It's a shame that there isn't a better toy of him because he looks really cool. I also wonder if he's related to Jetfire. I mean, aside from the obvious name similarities, they both transform into big powerful jets. I'd love to see an episode of the two of them having a little bit of a sibling rivalry. Maybe Jetfire is jealous of Meteorfire because he's so famous. And maybe Meteorfire is jealous of Jetfire because he's a real Autobot hero, whereas he's just a guy on TV. And then they can work it out and they're like best friends at the end of the episode. You know, funny thing I noticed while editing this video, in the last episode where Bumblebee collects a piece of Windblade, okay, technically it was Chromia who captured it, but still. My point is that at the end of that episode, we see one of Cybertron's moons. Specifically the moon that is quarantined, the same moon that they visit in this episode. I'll have to try and remember to be on the lookout for any other hints in upcoming episodes to the location of the next Windblade shard. But anyways, those are my thoughts on this episode. Let me know what yours are down in the comments. What do you think of Meteorfire and Cosmos? And don't forget to like, subscribe, and do all that other fun YouTube stuff. And I'll see you back here soon for episode 22, Journey to the Valley of Repugnance.